Alright broski, it's Tina Beckman with a new video on Jeremy Ethier. Yes man, it's bashing time. It's influencer bashing time, that's right. So he says how to build muscle in half the time using science. Alrighty, let's review this video and I don't know, we'll figure out whether it's in half this time, what type of muscle he building here. 30 minutes, 60, 30, okay.
Is it possible to work out half as much as you are right now, do just a few 30-minute workouts per week, and build just as much, if not more muscle? According to the latest science, yes. There's 3 time-saving strategies that have been shown to be most effective. I'll show you how to properly apply them to your workouts to get more gains in less time. So the first strategy...
Wow, look at those gains on him, eh? They're amazing. His little skinny muscles have been inflamed. Wow. Let's see how much more inflammation he can get in those muscles to make him hypertrophy.
It has to do with your workout volume. During a workout, the first few sets you do for a muscle give the most gains. But as you do more and more sets...
So the most muscle gain, as you're doing this set, you're growing muscles as you're doing that set. The most gains go up as the number of sets are going up in the session. Oh, they're hypertrophying. Excellent.
You get less growth relative to the additional effort you're putting in. Eventually, you actually reach a point where you don't get any additional growth from doing.
So you get less inflammatory hypertrophy muscles through inflammation as you're going through doing these sets. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh, you don't get any additional inflammation? You only get so much in that session. Oh, interesting. Okay.
More sets, and may even result in muscle loss if you take it way too far.
Ah, you may get some loss in inflammation during that session. Damn, we got to keep it up there so we look nice and inflamed as we're walking out in the street.
So to save time in the gym, you want to do the least number of sets that still gets you a solid return in gains.
Got it. So the least amount of sets to get the most amount of inflammation when we go out in the street and look really big and pumped, right? Excellent.
And there's a few studies we can look at to find what that amount is. One study from back in 2002 had trained subjects do just 1 set of bench press and 1 set of leg press 3 times a week for 12 weeks. Despite the extreme...
That looks like it's optimal. The inflammation should be staying in there for quite a while, right? This is chronic lifting.
Low volume, in this case just 3.
We want to hypertrophy those muscles, right? Hypertrophy, bro.
3 sets per muscle per week, they were still able to build a bit of muscle. Another study took a...
See, what did I tell you? Every time they inflamed those muscles, they were able to build up those muscles through inflammation. They measured them, and they saw they hypertrophied through inflammation. See, sets do build a muscle. Yeah, man. See that? All you guys are like, what? What's T talking about, man? Come on, man. Everybody knows a set builds a muscle through inflammatory hypertrophy. They should call it inflammatory hypertrophy, myofibrillar hypertrophy, fiber, and then sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. See, they never say inflammatory hypertrophy, but it is a type of hypertrophy. Your muscles are hypertrophying through inflammation. Yeah, it's temporary though.
Different approach. They had subjects do 27 sets for their quads every single week. After 4 months, they...
See, every single week they had them do 27 sets to make sure that inflammatory response is staying there. A little bit of that glycogen too, get some more of that sarcoplasmic hypertrophy in there. That artificial muscle growth.
Measured how much muscle was built, and then split the subjects into one of 3 groups. One group dropped their...
See, sets and reps per week do build muscles, yes. Inflammatory.
Volume to just 9 sets per week. Another dropped to just 3 sets per week, and the final group didn't...
And these people were telling me breatharians are not building their bodies. Of course they are. They're living off air. Breatharians, they breathe air. That's how they grow their bodies, off of air. What are you talking about?
Lift at all. After 8 months at this new volume, the no lifting group's muscles returned back to normal. The 3 set per week group were able to...
See, that's the problem. The inflammatory response makes the muscles go back to normal if you don't lift often enough. So we got to keep up lifting to get that inflammatory response in there, see?
Maintain their new gains, whereas the 9 set per week group ended up gaining even more muscle. Then the last study I wanted...
Whoa, see, they gained more inflammatory response, and the other one kind of maintained it. Kind of was there a little bit, not too much. Yeah, I get it now.
To to look at before providing some recommendations is a meta-analysis led by Brad Schoenfeld. They compared 1 to 5, 5 to 9, and 10 plus sets per muscle
Schoenfeld, oh, okay.
per week. What they discovered is a dose
You must be an expert in this inflammatory response muscle building hypertrophy.
response relationship between muscle growth and the number of sets performed, with 10 plus sets per muscle per week resulting in the most growth. But what's interesting
So you get the most inflammation if you do that 10 sets per week. Oh, I got it, man. Thanks a lot for that. See, that's how it works.
is that the 5 to 9 set groups
Jeremy, you are my hero, man. You're a fucking genius, bro.
still experience about 80%
See, maximum growth and hypertrophy. But if you don't keep up with it, it goes back to normal because that inflammatory response goes away.
of the max gains, and the 1 to 5 set group were still able to get about 60% of it. So, based on the research we have so far, it seems likely that 3 sets per muscle per week is probably enough to maintain your gains and maybe even
Okay, so 3 sets per week is enough to maintain the inflammatory response. But if we want more, what do we got to do?
build a little muscle depending on how inexperienced you are. But 4 to 7 sets per muscle per week is likely the sweet spot to get the most gains with the least amount
That's the sweet spot to get more inflammatory response in the muscles so they can hypertrophy. Got it.
of time and effort. Now at the end of the video, I'll give you guys some free time-saving workout
That's awesome. I'm telling you, Jeremy, you're amazing, bro.
routines that take care of all the sets, reps, and exercises for you. But for now, here's an example of what this could look like with a 3-day per
Thank you.
week full body workout that would train each muscle with around 6 sets per week. Assuming 2 minutes rest between sets and 1 minute transition time between exercises, the whole workout could be completed in as little as 30 minutes. And you can also just apply
Wow, that's pretty fast. And that inflammatory response goes way up, eh?
this strategy to your current routine by cutting down the number of sets and or exercises on all your workouts, or just do so on
The question, hey, when are you going to do a video on how I can build like real muscles, Jeremy? Can you do a video how we could build real muscles? Like what builds real muscles? Do you even know? Does food build real muscles? Because, I'm getting tired of, faking it. These fake inflammatory response muscles from sets and reps, bro. Come on, help me out here.
days where you're busy or just not feeling it and need a quick workout. However, if you are going to go with this minimal volume, there's 3 things you need to start doing in all your workouts to continue making almost as much or possibly
And what's that if I go on the minimal route, Jeremy?
even more gains than you were before. First off, research has shown that the closer you train to failure, the more growth you'll get, but also the more fatigue you'll create. In your case, you don't have that many sets to recover from. So to get the most growth possible, every single set, you should be pushing at least 1 to 2 reps short of failure. And even going all the way to failure on exercises where it's safe to do so.
Oh, so you got to go to failure on the sets to push it, to get that inflammatory response and get it to stay in there for quite a long time. I get it now, man. You're a genius.
Second, since you're only doing a limited number of exercises, it's crucial
But really, truly, I want to know how to build some real muscles, though. You ever going to do a video on that?
you pick the ones that are most likely to give the most gains. And there's a really exciting area of research called long muscle length training. Basically, it seems like some muscles
Long muscle length training to get the most inflammatory response. I got it now, okay. But like I said, I'm getting kind of tired of walking around with these inflamed muscles, bro. Help me out.
may respond better to exercises that challenge them the most when they're in a stretch position. I cover this
so if I stretch it, I get more of an inflammatory response if I stretch it in a stretching position. That's what's going to happen. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Man, I'm learning a lot here.
research in more depth and explain exactly what exercises to do for what muscle groups in my past video, which I'll link in the description box down below.
Yeah,
and
that inflammatory response, bro, it was kind of like it was seeping out too fast. My friends have kept asking me, hey, you look like you're losing weight all the time. And I'm like, they're like, what you doing? I'm like, but I'm lifting, bro. Like, what the hell? Couldn't figure it out now. Now I got it. Keep that inflammatory response in there. Thanks.
at the end of the video. And lastly, you need to dial in your form. Every single rep you do matters that much more. Now, some of you may be wondering, what if I don't want to do less?
Dialing in the form. The form is important too, to make sure that we inflame those muscles properly. Yes, got it.
What if I still want to train at the optimal volume and use other ways to cut down my time? Or what if I want to make my minimalist workout even more time efficient? This is where the next two time-saving strategies come in handy. So you've probably heard of supersets, where you do 2 exercises back-to-back with no rest. While
Yes, I've heard of those. Supersets, eh? Supersetting back to back. Whoa, more inflammation. Cool.
this can cut your workout time down in half, most people don't do them properly and end up compromising their gains. The key is to use what's
They compromise. If they don't do them properly, they compromise getting that inflammatory response in there. Got it. That I was aware of, actually. Thanks.
known as antagonist supersets. This involves doing an exercise that works one muscle and then almost immediately after doing an exercise that works the opposite muscle. This way, one muscle is resting while the other is working. But how
Got it. Inflaming one and then inflaming the other. We take our time back and forth. Got it.
long it takes you to catch your breath between the two exercises seems to be important.
That's good. The more we can circulate that inflammatory response in there, that is just right, broski.
One study showed that keeping the transition time as short as possible, no longer than a minute, led to a unique benefit where subjects could actually do more reps than they could when they took longer rests or just performed the exercises without supersets. However, keep in mind that supersets will only work if you're still pushing your muscles close to failure every set. So just take as long as rest as you need to prevent your cardio from holding you back. Now here is a list of the best antagonist supersets that you can start applying to your routine. But also,
Is that what they call it? Antagonist sets to get the best inflammatory response. Got it. Yes, Jeremy.
don't feel limited to just these. You can basically superset any two exercises that don't train
How's that working for you? You're looking a little thin there. You need to pump up again, bro. Get pumped, bro. Get in there and get pumped, bro. Come on. You can do it.
the exact same muscles and wouldn't be overly fatiguing when done back to back. Bench press with calf raises, chest flies with lateral raises, and leg extensions or leg curls with pretty much any nearby upper body exercise are all great examples. But if there's any exercises you can't end up supersetting or would just prefer not to, this is where the next method can come in handy. So usually you do a set of an exercise, rest, do another set, and repeat until you've completed your desired number of sets. But with strategy
Got it. And then you check yourself in the mirror to see how pumped up you are, right?
3, you do your first set until you can't do any more reps, decrease the weight, and immediately do as many reps as you can, and continue dropping the weight until you complete about 2 or 3 drop sets in total.
That's the drop set session to get that inflammatory response. I heard about that one, yeah.
Now before I share what
Natural hypertrophy is doing a whole section on that one. He's doing, it's called methods to getting the inflammatory responses.
exercises you should and should not apply this method to, I know what some of you may be thinking. Won't this reduce the amount of weight and reps I can do, leading to less gains? While that is true, drop sets take advantage of what's commonly known as effective reps. Let's say you do
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought, this would lead to less gains in inflammatory response. No, I would think it would get more.
in a set of 10 reps to failure. The first few reps you do contribute very little to muscle growth. It's the last few reps when the muscles are being pushed to their absolute limit where the most growth happens. So even though
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Now I know that. That's great. Okay.
you're decreasing the weight during each drop set, your muscles are already exhausted from your previous set to the point that every additional rep it does now is far more effective for growth. This is likely the mechanism behind why
Oh, that's crazy, man.
a handful of studies and a recent 2022 meta-analysis, which is basically a study of studies, have all shown drop sets to provide the same and in some cases even more growth, despite cutting workouts down.
See, man, the drop sets. I knew that people used to talk about that. They get the most pumps in the muscle. Get pumped up, like really pumped up, doing the drop sets. Yeah, and then walking around with pumped muscles, inflamed and shit.
And to a third of the time. But you should only use this on certain exercises.
Okay.
Keep in mind that during every
Yes, Jeremy. Okay.
set, you have to train to failure. So you need to use exercises where it's safe to do so and also really quick to decrease the weight for each drop set. Lateral raises, arms exercises, dumbbell chest presses, calf raises, and many machine exercises are all great options. I definitely wouldn't apply this to squats and
I believe you, man. That looks like that's a lot of work there. That's a lot of pumping.
deadlifts, and only with bench press if you have a good spotter. Now as for how many drops.
So the whole goal is to be adapted, right? Because now we're adapted because we're coming in often, right? You know what I mean? Muscles are protected; they're not getting damaged or anything. So what we're getting is we're increasing the inflammatory response hypertrophy in our muscles. I understand that. Okay, there's not really any more adaptations there, so we're just pumping it temporarily. We don't want to lose it like in the beginning. Your graft, if you don't keep up with it, it goes away really fast. We don't want that to go away, bro. We want that fake stuff to hang around, hey, for a while. Come on, broski. You know what I mean, broski?
To do. One study replaced 3 normal sets with 1 normal set followed by 2 drop sets, whereas another study replaced 3 normal sets with 1 normal set followed by 4 drop sets. In both studies, the drop set group led to similar growth as the normal group. So I'd say try to at least match the total number of sets.
Yeah, it looked like similarities there.
That's including your drop sets with how many normal sets you usually do. Lastly, as for how much.
Hey, aren't those the fake weights? Any numbers on there? How much is that weight that you just took off? What does that weigh? 5 pounds? How much is that big one there? Like, what, 20 pounds?
To lower the weight during each drop set, the study protocol is
You know, you should really number your weights, Jeremy. We'd like to know.
usually decrease it by 20% at a time.
Jeremy, do some powerlifting stuff. Let's see how much you could lift.
So don't drop by too much or too little. You
I
probably
mean, come on, you got like, what, 3.8 million... whatever, 5.9 million something subscribers, practically 6 million subscribers. Can't you do a show for us, lifting something heavy? Entertain us. This is getting boring.
won't be able to do as many reps as you could do during the previous set, but you should definitely be able to get more than a few. Just make sure
I understood already, Jeremy. You don't have to keep telling us the same thing about getting inflammatory response doing these drop sets and stuff. Yes, we know these, the different modes.
you're still tracking how much weight and how many reps you're doing, and try to progress this over time just like you would with normal sets. So, as promised, I created 3 time-saving workout routines for you guys to download. There's a 3-day, 4-day, and a 5-day per week workout routine for you guys to.
Wow, he's like put these 3, 4, 5-day training saving tips to inflame your muscles. Workout routine, time saving to get that inflammatory response so it hang around. Great, okay. That's how much will it cost me?
Pick from. Each workout can be done in as little as 30 minutes. Now I have designed these with
Really? That's it? 30 minutes to get an inflammatory response? I told you, man. That is amazing. But that doesn't damage muscles, 30 minutes, man. Is that like, how about like building real muscles? I gotta see a program on building a real one. You never do that. You never ever do that.
the optimal volume, but within each PDF, I also explain how you could cut it down to the minimalist volume we talked about earlier if you wanted to save even more time. And you can download.
And am I getting like a protein synthesis? Like 24 hours or something? 24-hour window protein synthesis? Oh, I'm just replacing any proteins that broke down. I'm not exceeding that, or what's going on here exactly? Oh, there's not enough really being broken down. 30 minutes. What are they really doing? Forgot, man. It's just for the inflammatory. This is the inflammatory thing. I forget your channel's only about inflammatory muscles, fake muscles. That's why you're so small and weak and tiny. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to switch over to another fitness guru, Jeremy. I'm going to have to give it a try because this, like, just inflamed and walking around skinny. My friends keep asking me, what's up with you? You're gaining, you're shrinking, you're gaining, and you're shrinking constantly. They're like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Them all over at builtwithscience.com/fast workouts. That said, one thing we have yet to discuss is nutrition. You can train far less than someone else, but actually end up getting dramatically better results by simply dialing in your nutrition. And for a step-by-step customized plan that shows you both how to train and what to eat to build lean muscle and lose fat faster and with less effort, then head over to builtwithscience.com and take our quiz.
Right on. Will do.
Is to find the best plan for you. Also, I highly
Will do, my friend. How to build muscle.
recommend giving this video a watch next to learn about a new training technique that you should start applying to all your workouts to build muscle even faster.
Wow, to build that inflammatory response even faster than the last time, Jeremy. You are amazing. I'll see you in the next one, my friends. Jeremy Ethier, amazing. I recommend it. To inflame your muscles, it only takes 30 minutes, workouts, full bodies. It's amazing. Got drop sets and everything. He's got a whole program there. Follow what he says. You're going to get inflamed, bigger, better than the last time. See you in the next one, my friends. Ciao. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Really helps the algorithm.